Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. Special day today. It is the end of the Goron Mines RTA tournament for Twilight Princess. We have our grand finals. Best of 3, Nimzo versus Skyreon. The potential for a little extra should something happen. But joined on commentary for Game 1 here by Bewildebeest and by TGD. How are you two doing?
Not
How
too bad.
about
How
you?
about yourself?
I'm ready for an... Oh, wait, this is a race. I can't nap. Never mind. I will hand it over to you two, and we will get this race underway shortly.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Cubs. Yeah, as Cubs said, this is the grand finals. This race, this round may involve as many as 4 races. Nimzo is at the end of the winner's bracket, and Sky is at the end of the loser's bracket. If Sky wins the best of 3, and that knocks Nimzo to the loser's bracket, and then they just have a 1 race round after that to determine the final winner. So, what if Nimzo loses the first race, then there are going to be at least 3 races. And if Nimzo loses the second race, there will be only 3. But if Nimzo loses the first race and Sky wins the second race, then there may be 4.
Yeah, a potential for a lot of Twilight Princess today, so.
It's a good thing we like Twilight Princess.
Looks like we're getting her underway now. The countdown is starting. The start of many Twilight Princess speedruns start with a trick called Back in Time. So what both our runners are going to be doing at the start here is grabbing a rock in the second area, which we have deemed name Dwayne, the rock. And they're going to use Dwayne to clip into a gate, fall into a void, and reset on the same frame they void out in order to activate Back in Time. And what that will allow them to do is get some properties a little early on they should not only have. This includes the...
Nice. I know Nimzo always does this, but Sky's doing it too. It's funny.
Little knock at Nimzo. Yeah, they mess around with the item or the map, which is kind of silly.
Nimzo through the gate first. Alright, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so they'll both be doing a safe version of Back in Time.
Guy going extra safe and not pressing the A button.
There is it's frame perfect, so if we have a safe version, runners would typically go for it in race settings. There's more of a YOLO method involves side hopping and pulling the item wheel, which saves like 7-8 seconds.
Or even YOLOer method. There we go. Where you don't pull the item wheel, you just jump off.
Yeah. These Simikins if you want to do that strat.
At Simikins.
But we have both runners are through Back in Time, and they're going through the saving telesequence. This will probably be a good point to mention language differences. We see that Sky is on the Japanese version, and Nimzo is on the Spanish. For TP, languages generally don't really matter, but this is a very rare case where Japanese is actually optimal for a category. In other full-length categories, Japanese lacks map glitch, which is a crucial glitch for routing, but we don't need it for this category, so Japanese has a very slight edge with text speeds. I think it saves like 21 frames over Spanish or something, so it's not even a full second.
Yeah, not too significant. Now, what is significant is that the rules for this category state that the run is over when you say yes to Midna to leave Goron Mines. Because neither player is on English, neither will be able to say yes, so this run is going to go on forever.
Yeah, it's better strap in because we're in for a long race.
Yep.
So throughout this area, our runners are going to be trying to frame perfectly chain rolls. For every roll it's not frame perfectly chained, you lose a lot of speed, and that amount of speed you'll lose depends on or the I guess the plane you're on. If it's flatter ground, you'll lose less speed compared to if you're rolling up or down a slope, where drop rolls will lose significantly more speed on slopes. So runners will be very much so trying to maintain frame perfect rolls, especially on those slopes. And you can tell by looking at the little GameCube icon on the top right, or the lantern icon rather. If it stays sort of like half opacity, then that means that they frame perfectly chained a roll, and if it goes to full opacity, then that means they dropped it.
Even with safe bit, Nimzo is making stellar time.
Oh man, yeah, it's like a
Yeah, four flat
4-0.
cage break with
Jesus.
with safe bit. That's crazy. So Sky will be a little behind because of his troubles with the gate and with doing back in time. He was trying to press A and a D-pad button on the exact same frame, and he was erring on the side of caution, pressing A late. If he pressed A early, then he would have voided and had to like do the entire gate clip again.
Yeah, and on the GameCube controller, the D-pad can be a little bit finicky sometimes. So the it's very smart to play it safe early on, because if you were to void out without doing back in time, you would lose like 45 seconds or so. Basically, you'd have to bring that rock all the way back to the gate and do gate clip once again, which
And
has
now
its own levels of RNG.
It's time for Nimzo to turn all of his goats into bees. Nimzo, this is sketchy. Yeah, this might be a turning point. Sky could pull ahead here. Sky's arrangement looks much nicer. So the overall arrangement of the goats. Oh, Nimzo pulled out a 29 out of that. That's pretty good. And Sky's got a Howard. Yeah, so the way the goats are oriented and where they're standing when the minigame begins is not RNG, but how they react to Link's whoops is RNG. Just the amount that they run and how fast they run. So it's not perfectly consistent.
And a nice lantern stretch from Sky that'll come in really handy later on.
Stealing my strats.
So if anyone's familiar with any percent, this is a slight deviation. Normally in 80% we would go and get the iron boots now, but due to some routing we have to do with this category, it is actually beneficial for us to delay getting the iron boots in order to use the properties of the iron boots with its broken text for a trick we'll do later on called text displacement, which we will touch a little bit more on detail when it comes relevant in about 30-ish minutes. So coming up, we have essentially the wolf tutorial section of the game. In this area, you get introduced to your two wolf abilities, two of your wolf abilities, senses and digging. And there's actually a relatively precise thing where you can break this box right as the cutscene starts. So we saw
Nice.
Nimzo got it, but Sky missed it.
Oh, am I behind?
He might, I think so, yeah.
I guess I must be. Refresh.
I had to refresh as well just to be safe. I think Nimzo got the quick cutscene drop too, so that was very cool.
Is it just on my end, or is Nimzo very framey?
Nimzo seems to be pretty framey for me as well.
Oh, okay.
But the sewers is like I said, it's the tutorial section for Wolf, and they're going to be showcasing a technique called dash canceling. As a wolf, if you interrupt your dash within 10 frames of initiating with dash, you will essentially cancel it. And what that'll allow you to do is initiate a dash immediately afterwards. So they can do this in a variety of reasons. You could bonk into a wall, that would be a dash cancel. But more often, they either do a dash cancel by dashing right at the end of a ledge or pressing B shortly afterwards, and that will also do a dash cancel.
Sky got the Midna text displacement. Talked to Midna from just outside her cutscene trigger. And it doesn't, the text displacement doesn't do anything, but it just saves a little bit of time going through her dialogue.
And ascending this tower here, there's a few one-framers that our runners can go for. Basically, anytime before you, if Midna talks to you before a Midna jump, in every instance except for one, there is a frame where you can get an early press, and that will skip the little animation of Midna flying towards the target before you can actually start the Midna jump. So we saw it on Sky, he just got it on his screen.
Nimzo unfortunately missed one. But did turn on his senses. And did get one framer there.
Card Rock being kind of mean.
Parker Rock. Am I behind again?
It's being a little finicky, it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. Alright, this seems roughly right.
That seems better.
Alright, time for sword and shield skip. Categories that do back in time and do a back in time save at the beginning are locked out of getting the sword and the shield, and the only way to progress through the game without getting the sword and the shield is to jump over the trigger that normally stops you from leaving without the sword and the shield, and we're going to need Hugo the Bulblin to do that. So Nimzo and Sky are both going to lure Hugo, their respective Hugos, over the bridge to the entrance to Farron Twilight, and use Hugo to get a super jump.
A super jump, huh?
Yeah, not really a super jump. I guess it's a long jump attack. Let's call it a big old jump.
That works for me.
I don't know how Nimzo trusts his D-pad enough to do that.
You must have like a god tier D-pad or something.
I guess. Or just excellent thumb control. He's definitely got that.
Right. Very fast.
Oh my god. That was amazing.
Insane.
Such a quick setup. We'll see on Sky's side.
Give us a little bit of time to explain it.
Quick setup as well, but sometimes Hugo just cooperates and sometimes he doesn't. There are kind of three modes Hugo can be in. He can be passively just standing there. He can be actively standing there where it's kind of harder to push him. Nice. First try for both. And he can be swinging. And just depending on what combination of those things he does, the setup for the trick can be really quick or really slow. And thankfully it was extremely quick for Nimzo and pretty quick for Sky. Not too bad.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are complaining about their Hugo RNG, because he can really mess with you for a significant amount of time, so. Especially in a race setting, a first try is always really nice.
Yeah.
So we're looking at about a 25-second difference between our two runners right now, so still anybody's race. There's a lot that can go on in the next 40 minutes.
Can it be my race?
I mean, if you want it to be, sure. It might cost you something, but
I'll win grand finals.
So
Oh yeah,
Nimzo
speaking
just-
of which, the winner of the tournament gets a Japanese copy of the game. Show them how it's done. Apparently how it's done is being knocked out of the tournament at 4th place, so... I'd rather not show them that. Nice double kill from Nimzo.
Am I behind now? What? Or
B attack there. That's clever. Might even be nicer to start off that movement with a B attack instead of waiting to the end. Depends on where you land on the house, I guess. Yeah, like Sky, Sky just did exactly what I was worried about. Bonked.
there you go.
So we just saw on Nimzo's side, and we'll now see on Sky's side. He's going to turn off senses right before he kills these bugs, so that he skips a text box from Koro. Nimzo got pretty good RNG for those bugs. Let's see how Sky does. Not too bad. Sometimes they line up perfectly, so you can just kill them both with one B attack, and it's very nice.
Yeah, difference between other categories that do fair in Twilight. It's different in this category because we want to collect all the bugs except for the first 2 on the first trip. So they have to do a little bit more waiting around than you normally would in, say, a category like 100% or all dungeons where you do complete the Twilight still, but you do it in a slightly different manner. And we'll see how Nimzo goes about these bugs. So the consistent strat avoiding out, or the fastest is to dig them up, but he went for voiding out for the more consistent strat.
I guess I'm behind again. Let me refresh. Huh. For some reason, my feed for Nimzo is like 5 seconds behind Sky's, judging by their live splits. Oh well. So Nimzo is now going for EMS. Gonna do a super jump, an actual super jump this time, off of a Shadow Beast to get up on a high out of bounds ledge. And he's gonna go get the Master Sword. Oh, Nimzo, the Master Sword's the other way. Where are you going?
Maybe there's one in Forest Temple. We just didn't know about it.
I forgot about the Master Sword. This guy jumping out of the load zone.
But if we got a first try from Nimzo, let's hope Sky can do the same.
Yeah. Oh, Nimzo paused early.
Very good.
Impossible Saltar. Nice from Sky.
Jamal can be quite uncooperative sometimes. If he doesn't give you the correct swing, technically you can do EMS off of a fast swing, but it's very difficult and nobody goes for it. So they're wanting us like a slow vertical swing, and if he just doesn't do that, then you can't do it.
Nimzo went for a charge attack when I don't know if he could see the other Shadow Beast, but I definitely couldn't. I was worried he was going to come over and ruin his run.
Nice camera angle from Nimzo.
Yeah, that was. How did he do that? That's incredible. Yeah, there's second EMS for Nimzo. The first EMS was just to get the last 2 bugs by the Forest Temple. Since this category doesn't need to get Ending Blow or go to the Forest Temple, Sky's having some trouble killing these guys. It's better to get those bugs now rather than to backtrack all the way to the Forest Temple for them later. Guy going for second EMS and gets it. Double first try EMS for both runners. It's very nice.
Guy just had a little bit of trouble quick spinning, which is just the real hardest strat in this entire game.
It's pretty tough.
So about 30 seconds apart right now. So still a really close race. And they are in the Sacred Grove about to do the Master Sword, or the Skull Kid sequence, sorry. And basically, it's somewhat pretty much an auto-scroller of 3 predetermined spawn locations for Skull Kid here, doing the 3 attacks, and then doing the arena fight, which is also going to include 3 different phases. We saw Nimzo do it, but on Sky's side, what he's going to be doing is holding direction on the control stick out of the cutscene and then dashing to avoid falling into this water. That's just a slight optimization that you can do, saves a little bit of time.
Let's see whether Nimzo successfully landed on the ground. Look, he did a really far left B attack.
You can tell if he did that with, I don't know if you knew about it, but I think Anno told me about it. Skull Kid will actually look at you after that hit. So
Yeah.
if Skull Kid looks up, then you know you're dangling, and if he's looking straight ahead, then you fell to the ground, so.
I did know that one, yeah.
Cool little tidbit for anyone who wasn't aware. Kind of cool.
And Nimzo intelligently collecting a heart, though he probably doesn't need it. Rupees are not at all important in this category. There's nothing to spend them on, so it doesn't matter if he gets extras.
I mean, hopefully there's nothing to spend them on.
True.
It'd
Guess-
be very bad if you need to spend rupees on something.
Yeah. Yep. That would probably mean failed TD in such a way that you need to get Koro TD, which is, yeah.
Let's just hope that won't come into play, but something silly to note. And Nim's about to do the hardest puzzle in the entire game. Let's hope that he can get it first try.
Yep.
Pretty hard. I don't imagine he studied the solution or anything. That would just be cheating, as we all know, so. Also, looks like he's doing the flipped version of the puzzle.
You say that as though you know the solution.
I would never know the solution. I've never cheated a day in my life, no.
Wait a second. If they're not supposed to know the solution, how are we going to do 4 races today?
They'll figure it out. They're smart. See, Nimzo just got it. He's very smart.
Wow. Well, they call him Smartzo.
That is his name, after all. And very nice segment from Nimzo. On
Yep.
the splits, that was a small gold, but was still a gold for him. So
Nice. Yes, Nimzo has the world record in this category now with a 55.49, and he is 3.7 seconds behind that, which is very impressive for a race. It's just very impressive, period.
and then this guy running up on the Master Sword pedestal himself. This cutscene would be it's a long cutscene, and it would be really good for like a break, you know, get a little bit of break in there, run into the kitchen, fill up your water, do whatever. But there is text like halfway through it, which, unless you have an extremely long GameCube cable or GameCube controller cable, this cutscene is hard to get anything done in.
If you're quick, you can run to the bathroom.
Yeah, Wavebird strats. That's the. I just have a. With my input viewer, when I made it with a really long cable. Plus, I have an extra extension cable, so my GameCube controller can reach like halfway to my kitchen if I really needed it to from my desk. So I have a lot of length on this controller.
I just dropped my controller from a really high height at the beginning of the cutscene, and it's timed so that as soon as the text box comes up, it lands and presses the button, so I don't need to advance it myself.
Those are the real strats there. Holy cow.
Go through a lot of controllers.
Wind Waker runners can complain about MSS. We have dropping controllers to skip through text boxes. So after that, we have Nimzo. After that long cutscene, is going to collect these last 2 tiers. He's going to be transforming before the cutscene starts. What that will allow him to do is hopefully get a 1-frame backflip, which will save him, give or take, 4 seconds. And from there, he is going to do a save warp, which will put him at the entrance of Farron Woods. And what he's going to do from there is another instance of back in time. But
Nice.
instead of doing a back in time save, he is going to load his file on the back in time map. And what that allow him to, or that will wrong warp him into the KB, what is it? King Wolven 1 fight?
Yeah.
And allow him to get to Kakariko in order to do the Twilight.
And this is the same back in time they're going for at the beginning of the run.
So he'll jump off and start the file, open the file selection screen in a very wide window. You'll hear it when Sky does it, but you'll hear Link basically start screaming as the files open up. And that's how you know you did bite successfully and they just have to load their file. And we'll hope that Nimzo gets good RNG on KB, which it looks like he's getting pretty good RNG. Wow. Really good fight for Nimzo.
I just refreshed. How am I behind again? Whatever. It's fine. What time do you see on Sky's timer right now?
25, just 26 minutes from now.
Okay, I keep getting behind on Nimzo somehow, not Sky. Whatever. Here, you commentate Nimzo, I'll commentate Sky. Ooh, Nimzo got the thing. King Bolin was sitting all his way down.
Oh boy, double good RNG.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh man.
King
That is
Bolin
like
likes to keep the race
super
close.
uncommon for that good RNG. That was an insanely good King Bolin from both of them.
Yeah.
And we saw Nimzo do it already, but Sky is going to be doing a quick second phase. Basically turning around halfway because he is scared of King Bolin.
Yep.
But instead is actually doing a fake out and is going to hit him twice.
I was convinced he was scared. You really got me.
Yeah. I know Sky hasn't played this game before, so it doesn't surprise me.
Nimzo not going for the tiny time saver of killing these shadow beasts as human. We'll see if Sky does.
And that's another gold from Nimzo, so
Wow.
he is now 1 second ahead of his PB.
That's crazy.
It looks like Sky is electing to do human strats and getting
Yeah.
good RNG from the Shadow Beast.
It's not totally RNG. They have kind of aggro areas, and it's like a Venn diagram. If you just go to the part where they overlap, then they'll both come for you. It's right near the sign.
Oh, I did not know that. It's good to know.
At least that's how I conceptualize it, and it seems accurate.
So both of our runners playing very well right now. Nimzo had a little bit of bad luck with the Koos there that was preventing him from doing a side hop into the well, which is definitely intended by the developers, so don't need to think too much of it.
Oh, Nimzo missed a tier. Nimzo has had some crazy Elden Twilights in his runs. His goal tier is a 636,
That's insane.
which is just nuts.
Do you know if he splits on Fade Out or a tier collection?
It's tier collection.
Okay. Still
With
insane.
Fade Out, it's like a 640, 641. I think it was 4.5 seconds different. I might be misremembering though.
Nice C up from Sky.
Yep.
Probably a little bit of snapback if I had to take a guess.
Never a bad time to see up. It's a great movie.
So Sky is coming up on the Malomart. There's a little strat where you can bonk this little wall, then turn senses, and the bug will come right to you because it misses you so much. And
Nimzo, yeah. This room is awkward because you can target the Bulblin outside from inside that room through the wall, which makes it hard to collect the tier in a good way. Oh, Nimzo going for pot strats.
oh, very good.
Gateway strats.
Oh, I got the green rupee. Cool. And he got the bonk, so the run is officially perfect. Like, I think bonk is technically faster than side hop, but it is. I think it has more swag points. And we saw both of our runners after killing that first bug in the fireplace. They bonked that little counter there, and what that did is that caused the bug in the upstairs area of the inn to be off of the wall, so they could kill it a little bit sooner.
Guy doing 2 dash cancels on the roof instead of the superior movement of just pressing B after the jump. He knows that's the inferior movement, and yet he goes for it anyway.
Just has to show that he's a real OG, I guess.
Yep. Alright, Nimzo is going for bomb house skip. It's very framey and I can't see. That was a quick one. Very nice. So killing this bug makes the house explode before going in and watching the cutscene and stuff. Saves like 40-something seconds.
Yeah, that's like the number I've been told, roughly 40 seconds. That's a lot of time, and in other categories, I guess all dungeons we don't really have boomerang unless you do split Elden, but any percent you would normally have the Gale boomerang, which you'd be able to do an LJA, which makes this trick free. But unfortunately, we do not have the items, so they have to do a generally considered much more difficult version of the trick.
Sky took it a little bit slower than Nimzo, but also got the trick. Very nice. That one's a bit of a nail biter, because if you don't back up enough on the railing or make some other mistake, then you can fall all the way down, and it costs, I think, 30-something seconds to retry.
That's just really bad. And it's kind of silly with the bomb house is the walls are still like, even though they appear blown up, they're still kind of there. Like the collision still exists. So if you like were to miss one, and it was like one of the interior bugs where you couldn't just side hop, you'd have to re-dig, or not re-dig, but re-crawl into the house, even though the walls aren't there.
It was good awareness from Sky hesitating before digging out of the watchtower. That tier took a long time.
And both of them getting the side hop off the watchtower, which is the hardest side hop in the game, so.
I can think of a harder side hop.
No, that's not possible, sorry.
Oh, never mind. I guess I can't.
Were you thinking waterfall side hop or a different one?
Warping the meteor.
Oh, yeah, never mind, you're right.
Nimzo's having some trouble. He keeps releasing his charge attacks slightly too early and accidentally doing a quick spin instead. He still makes the cycle. And I can't see. Looks like he did make it. But it looks like Sky has had overall a cleaner Elden Twilight than Nimzo has had.
Still going to be a sub 7 from Nimzo, so.
Yep, 650.
Still beats my gold, so. Despite any.
Yeah, it was definitely not a bad Elden Twilight. It was just not up to Nimzo's normal standards.
And now Nimzo is going to go visit Bo because we haven't seen him in a little bit. We really missed the guy and just want to talk to him a little bit. But as we alluded to earlier, he's going to be doing a trick with Bo, which will look like nothing is going on, but behind the scenes there's actually a lot happening. What he's going to be doing is a trick called text displacement. Due to having done early Master Sword, it is impossible to enter Goron Mines at the current state that Goron is. If you were to try to talk to him, you'd be unable to progress the conversation. But if we use Bo here, which normally is the cutscene that plays, but due to back in time, we initiate every single text box individually. We can transfer the progress of that conversation from Bo to Goron, and use that to advance Goron's text to allow us to enter Goron Mines. But what that means, though, is that we can't finish the conversation the first time around. So this part of the run means a lot of backtracking. So you would come to Bo, talk to him once, go back, and then come back again, talk to him a second time for the boots. So it's kind of a lot of back and forth action.
It is pretty unfortunate that this is the best way we know of to get TD for this category. Because there are other categories that use text displacement, but there are just much better ways of getting it that require less backtracking. And, I mean, consider that it's not just backtracking to talk to Bo, it's also backtracking to get the boots, because we didn't get the boots at the beginning. Whereas, you know, Koro TD for Hundo, for example, you have to get Koro's bottle at some point anyway. So it's just an extra trip to Farron, but you warp straight there. So Nimzo's not going to run into the corner and get the cutscene. I guess it's not that corner.
It is that one.
Is that one?
Yeah, it was like, if you would have gone like a foot or two further, you would have hit the cutscene.
Oh my god!
I think he was messing with us.
I guess
that's a little spooky, but
thankfully
no one's ever
going
done
to watch
before.
the VOD after.
We were a little bit scared for that because if Nimzo was to hit that cutscene, he would lose his text displacement. And I didn't see how many times he talked to Bo, but I think it was too many to where he would not be able to re-get text displacement. So he'd be in for a world of hurt if you would have done that. This guy also looking at the corner. They know what they're doing.
I say that now. Wait till round 2.
They're both going to lose to TD, and it's like a gentleman's agreement.
That would be interesting. GM RTA, no TD.
That'd be good. Blast from the past for Sky for sure.
Yeah. Nimzo's just talked to Goron and applied the amount of dialogue he'd had with Bo to that conversation. And Goron said, "Hey, come in my mines." But Nimzo won't do that yet because he doesn't have the iron boots, and the iron boots are pretty important for beating Goron mines. Sky getting pulverized by a Goron.
Interestingly enough, it is technically possible to beat Goron mines without iron boots, but it's very convoluted and you need a lot more items than we currently have, and it would take a lot more time than just getting the iron boots from Bo.
Yeah. I don't even know all the ins and outs of that. I know how to do Fyrus without him, but there are other things I wouldn't know how to do.
I imagine a lot of moon boots if I had to, like maybe magic armor moon boots if I had to guess something, but I'm not too familiar with it. But speaking of iron boots, Nimzo is entering Bo's region now, and Sky's doing the same.
He's doing what?
I did not misspeak. But it's time to wrestle Bo, which is essentially glorified rock paper scissors, and the RNG could either be really good, really bad, or somewhere in the middle. So
you don't say.
Yeah, that's how randomness works, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nimzo's going to be trying to slap Bo and then mash A at least 12 times per second to knock Bo off out of the ring in one cycle. He gets good RNG the first time.
Nice.
EB moves on in the main magnet room with the wooden sword. Interesting. I'll have to look up a poke video for that. Is Nimzo going to get the perfect RNG? He is not.
Let's go.
But pretty close. Did he do it? Nice. Good recovery.
I need to refresh.
Nimzo is now finishing the wrestling match with Bo as Sky begins it. Serious lead for Nimzo. The amount depends on Sky's RNG, which is good so far. But he doesn't quite get the one cycle.
And
very similar RNG to Nimzo. And now it's worse RNG. Not quite getting the mash speed necessary to get Bo off. In one cycle. And Nimzo's going to do early elevator instead of ascending Death Mountain the way he did it before, because he's got the iron boots and has applied text displacement to Goron. You can just clip out of bounds here and get over to the magnet. To the elevator area, which you can then activate and then re-enter Death Mountain, or like the interior of Death Mountain from behind. And the Gorons are parted. The invisible wall is gone. Nimzo has entered Goron mines with another gold. That segment really doesn't have that much variation.
No.
Can't be too big of a gold. Guy doing early elevator, and Nimzo intelligently waiting out the lava cycle. But he will not wait out the lava cycles here, because there aren't any.
Looks like it was a half-second gold for Nimzo on that split. Going for Iron Boots roll strat, which is... It is fast, but it has a level of risk, because you can just fall in the lava.
Yeah, I imagine Nimzo's got it figured out. Where he doesn't ever fall in the lava. I could not figure that strat out, and also didn't care about this category. This is the only category where that would ever be useful, I think. Maybe glitchless?
Maybe.
You can't do early elevator the first time you go. Oh, Sky unfortunately going for a jump attack, but getting knocked back. You can't do it before applying TD. And this category, because of the way TD from Bow works, has to come back a second time. So after they've already applied TD, they can just do early elevator. But AD just applies TD and then enters Goron Mines.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I guess it's probably been like 3 or 4 years ago at this point, before text displacement was discovered, an older route used to do early elevator in all dungeons, but due to the advent of text displacement, it is no longer used because just because of the way that we get into Goron Mines. We used to have to use the spinner.
Oh, the spinner strat, yeah.
Yeah, you used to have to use a spinner to get past an invisible wall.
Well, and past the Goron guarding the elevator, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the elevator at Goron too, because you couldn't just talk to him from the move.
Yeah, but with spinner you can just spin past him. It is the same strat, okay.
Yeah, something interesting to know about those two Gorons blocking the way. For a while after text displacement was discovered.
Nimzo! Nimzo almost jumped down after getting the first key shard.
Oh boy, that was spooky. But I guess a little fun fact is that we used to think that we had to reload the area, make the Gorons move out of the way before we could get past them, because even after clearing the invisible wall. But it turns out in other categories where you don't have to leave after doing text displacement, you can just roll behind the Gorons and go on your merry way.
Yep, shoutouts to Demon.
And right now I'm betting that Nimzo really wishes he was on the Wii version. If you guys saw the match yesterday, you would have seen Fernan do it, but there is a Wii exclusive glitch. I don't know if it's 1.0 exclusive, but it is at least Wii exclusive. If the runners were to equip something over the iron boots mid-levitation onto a magnet, they have full walking speed on the ceiling.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nimzo was cutting these jumps really tight. I mean, he is on PB pace. He is ahead of his PB. He's pulling out all the strats. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You just.
No, you're good. It's I would have cut myself off. So.
Also getting the quick switch presses too. Very nice.
How do those quick switch presses work?
Well, I don't know if they're position or timing based. So I do know that at full speed, like full running speed, they are frame perfect. Basically, you put on the boots, frame perfectly, and it makes it so the switch goes down and activates the cutscene straight away instead of there being some delay before you can put on the boots. Nimzo's ahead by roughly a minute.
Yeah, judging it based off the key shard split, there's just about a minute difference.
Yeah.
Which
very good wolf flip from Nimzo.
Yeah. And both of their runs are still very good.
Yeah.
Sky only being 26 seconds behind his PB.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make Sky's run bad. Nimzo's literally on world record pace.
It just shows the type of runs necessary at such at the grand finals. I expect nothing less from these two runners. They're both very skilled, especially when it comes to this category. Putting a lot of time into it over the past month or two. Let's see if, while Sky goes for gate clip, Nimzo is going to be attempting a trick called key shard skip. We don't have the boomerang, so we can't just do it very easily. So he's going to be trying to use this spinning platform to, at the peak of the jump.
Oh.
Well, that was a little spooky.
Sky, unfortunately, getting tech-tighted. Didn't get the clip fast enough, so he's got to transform.
Oh, and he got crush voided. Oh, no.
Oh, man. That is a bad day for Sky.
That's unfortunate. And
Looks
Nimzo
like Nimzo got third try key shard skip? Third
I
or fourth?
believe so.
So, unfortunately, he can't BB at this point, but still well ahead of Sky, especially after Sky got crush voided.
Yeah. And that's not, KSS is, I believe it's 1 or 2 frame perfect depending on your angle. And after about 8 attempts, it starts becoming slower than if you just get the key shard.
Yeah, which means that from a time save perspective, it's kind of a no-brainer to go for, because each time you fail it, it's still way faster than the alternative of getting the key shard. So getting the good RNG, very nice, and intelligently not grabbing Dangoro from the edge and falling into the lava. Who would ever do that? Not me. Nope.
It'd be embarrassing, so. Glad we didn't see that. This guy also coming up on KSS, so. There's not a whole lot for Nimzo that could lose a lot of time, but there is one trick that could lose like 40 seconds or however long it takes to fail it.
Yeah, it's conceivable the race could be evened out, but Nimzo has a pretty strong lead at this point.
Guy failing at first try and readjusting his angle. This trick is deceivingly difficult. Like it looks like it should be super free and easy.
Yeah, it looks like you should be able to grab this ledge, no problem.
And I think that was 5th or 6th try for Sky, still saving time over getting the key shard, but not going to be quite enough for this first match.
Getting a heart is probably smart.
And we touched on it briefly when Nimzo did it, but there is a quick fight. So Sky is going to start with 3 jump attacks, and then followed by 3 backflips. And then mid-third backflip, he's going to put on iron boots. He's going to get nudged by Dangoro 3 times, and then grab him. And what that'll allow him to do is, shortly after throwing him off, he will grab the ledge of the arena, and that'll make Dangoro get stuck down below, and the second cycle will be free. And then we saw it on Nimzo. There is good RNG where you can get a quick grab afterwards, if you can get a quick spin off, but that is RNG and whether or not he wants to cooperate with his positioning.
It probably didn't happen because Sky didn't pull out the lantern during the first 2 backflips. So Nimzo's just got to backtrack now that he's got the 3rd key shard, which is the boss key. Back to the outdoor area and then to Fyrus's room.
Technically,
I don't think Nimzo goes for parkour.
Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I spoke too soon.
Oh, well, it's probably not what he was going for regardless. How? What? I swear that Bulblin has a humongous hitbox and somehow is just not cooperating. Like, I think hitboxes for things that you're supposed to shoot when you're shooting them from far away are larger than they would be if they were close up. It's always felt that way. Like, for example, hitting the BMOS that, or like the eye of the BMOS that Nimzo just shot and passed. I feel like when you're trying to hit that from close up, the hitbox is like the same size as the eye, but when it's far away, it's humongous.
Oh no.
Oh!
That's a new one.
That's... So that... Nimzo doesn't even know where to go. That's pretty uncommon. Not really enough to even out the race, but...
Oh man.
And he missed the cycle. Wow.
That's really
rough.
unfortunate. It just waited
So
out.
I'm
Nimzo.
guessing the Bulblin archers were just kind of off their cycle because he had taken a long time to shoot them. I don't think that ever normally happens.
That's really unfortunate for Nimzo.
Yeah, so now Nimzo's got to make this jump attack.
Oh no!
Oh, well, this is
That
getting
was-
a lot closer.
That was the one thing that I mentioned earlier, that if he failed, that he could fail. I don't even take into account the Bulblins having
Okay.
actually good aim for once.
Oh, is this faster than climbing up the long ladder? I wonder. Gonna miss the... No, okay.
Okay, he made it this time.
He's still a solid, like, minute ahead of Sky. If he fails this one more time, then it's getting close.
Okay. He may have just been like messing with us. We don't know.
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Sky is gonna go for the parkour. This should be cool.
I think this can save a couple of seconds if it's done like flawlessly.
Yep,
It's hard to make it actually save any time, but it does look really cool.
it certainly does.
And I don't know if Sky
now
is like...
entering Virus. The race is pretty much set at this point. Oh, Sky getting blown up. That's exciting.
See if Sky is able to get this first try.
Nice. Oh. Double sword bonk. So Nimzo's going to go for some quick chain pulls on cycles 2 and 3 of Virus. Otherwise, there's not too much to do here. Sky missed.
Because his...
Almost picked up the pot.
button.
Not quite. Nimzo's going to quickly grab the chain so that when Virus steps twice, 1, 2, we'll get the pull.
Attempted to do a break slide there, but didn't quite get it off.
Yeah.
And this fight is technically possible with without using sword. It just requires you to shoot him in the crystal 10 times, which is slow, as one could imagine.
It looks like Nimzo's going to be tying my PB, falling in the water 3 times at the end. A little embarrassing.
If it makes you feel any better, he beats my PB by a couple of minutes, so...
Nice. We'll see whether Nimzo gets the heart container.
He was playing it.
Nope.
Life on the
Playing it
edge.
safe. Or playing it, not safe. Alright, GG Nimzo, 57-15.
So, like, that's a crazy time, especially considering the, I guess, mistakes towards the end there in the
Yeah.
unluckiness.
I mean, it was mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, he
and-
was, Simi.
Entering Dangoro, or yeah, around there. Or sorry, entering Keyshard Skip is on record pace. So as Sky finishes up, Nimzo looks like is going to load a file and practice, practice back in time. And we're going to have race number 2 of this round in about 5 minutes, I think. GG Sky, 58.06.
Yeah,
Excellent time.
couple minutes here just to get set up for the next race. We'll cut back to the countdown screen, just to give everybody a little bit of a break. So, everyone take a few minutes. Probably, as it's about 5 minutes, we'll come back. We'll have game 2. And we'll get this one going again.
That's good.